Hello guys, I'm Fisi, and as you know, F1 2013 is right around the corner, so I thought why not send off F1 2012 with a bang. So in the lead up to F1 2013 I'll be doing my first ever single player series for you guys, and it's going to be a quick career mode season in the Force India to hopefully have a bit of fun at the end of this game's lifetime. And about anything really, just have an excuse to be doing a bit of commentary by myself. As you might know, it's not something I've done a great deal of in the past. So this series will be in 10 parts, with each part covering 2 of the races, and for the first time I'm actually playing F1 2012 on the PC this time, and as a cheeky addition I've got a couple of mods installed as well. Most notably I've got the 2013 season mod, which means that while all the cars are still in their 2012 shapes, they will all have the 2013 liveries on them. And we will also have all the drivers from the 2013 season in their ride cars as well, which also means HRT have been scrapped from the grid finally. I think the car performance has also been tweaked a bit, so we might see the Mercedes a bit quicker and the McLaren maybe a bit slower, for example. Also have an AI mod, true to life AI mod or something, which is supposed to make the AI a little bit quicker, a bit more aggressive and stuff like that, so hopefully that should make it interesting as well. But I've been talking for a while now, so let's just jump straight into the first race. So then, as usual, for the first race of the season, we are in Melbourne, in Australia, in Albert Park. It's a lovely sunny weather outside, and as you can see on the monitor there, I'm in Q3 at the moment. So I managed to get through Q1 and Q2 quite well in the Force India, against Legend AI obviously, so that's not a bad performance in itself really. As you can see here, my setup, I will be using the default engineer setups that the game gives me, which means every setting in the middle pretty much, in order to make it a little bit more challenging for me, and I also assume that's the setup that the AI cars will be running with, so hopefully this could put me on as equal terms with them as possible. We've now jumped out onto the track at the end of my first run in qualifying 3. Using the rest of my cars towards the line, let's see where this adds us in the grid, P7. And as we're going to start the second flying lap, I'm locking up completely, going to turn 1, completely screwing that lap up. And that's not what we wanted, because I'm not just gonna have to limp around for a whole lap before starting one final attempt at pole. As you can see, it's not going too badly, because I'm actually purple in sector 2, which means I'm the fastest person on the track until that time. But as we reach the end of the lap, no more fuel. No more fuel. This car wasn't fueled to do 3 flying laps, unfortunately, which means that I can't improve my lap, and I'm stuck down in P7 on the grid. Fernando Alonso taking pole for the first race, Raikkonen in second, Lewis Hamilton in third. So the Red Bull's down in P5 and P6 as well. But I don't think that's too bad, to be honest. P7 in the Q3 in my first race in Force India. I don't think they're going to be too unhappy with that. Gives us a reasonable starting position as well for the race. And just to point out, the reason you saw only 8 cars in on the Q3 results is because, obviously, with the mod removing HRT from the grid, unfortunately the game still eliminates 7 drivers in each of the qualifying sessions, which means that to get into the Q2 you have to be in the top 15, and to get into Q3 you're now going to have to be in the top 8 on this in this season. But now we're out onto the grid for the first race of this career mode season. Lovely sunny sky, just like in qualifying. As the lights are now coming on, starting in P7 in the Force India, with all the quick cars around me. Lights are now out, and away we go. Mark Webber and Vettel, both the Red Bulls ahead. I'm going to duck to the inside, maybe have a run on Mark Webber. Got Rosberg now up ahead, kind of dived on the inside, trying to sneak into the middle of them. That gap was just gonna close, so I was a little bit careful there. Webber's got a great exit. I'm now, it's 3 abreast now, with Rosberg on my right and Vettel on my left, going down towards turn 3. Rosberg on the inside, covering that very well, but Vettel has hit his teammate in the back. He's gone sideways, and just front wings flying everywhere. This thing has quite a few cars out back there as we've gone around the outside of Vettel through turn 4 and up to P6 then, so I think it's quite a few casualties with no front wings back there. Vettel deciding that he didn't like to see his teammate in front of him, and kind of smashed into the back of him and caused an absolute pile-up. but I've gone through up 1 place since the start into P6, so it's not too bad. As we now skip to the end of the first lap, Vettel still chasing my rear, as Rosberg looks like he's having a little bit of a run on Mark Webber, but he's gone very slow into the penultimate corner. Might have a run on him on the straight, but he's got a good exit, and oh, Force India understeer, horrible understeer on the Force India. I've just almost gone straight into the wall, and I had to defend. A little bit over dramatic defending there from me, changed into the inside line, but Vettel not quick enough to get a run on me, so maintained my 6th place. With Rosberg still running ahead, Webber looking like he's built a little bit of a gap there. Now skip to the middle of lap 2, Rosberg, and there's just a bunch of 4 cars going into turn 11 and 12. Not going to work, guys. Rosberg's gone very slow, and I think I might have a run. Still got a bit of curse, but I haven't used it. Might have a look at the inside now, decide to back out of it. He was covering the inside reasonably really well there. Got to run into the next corner though. Oh, it's just about giving me a rough room. I'm gonna try to go around maybe on the outside into the penultimate corner. Can I pull it off? Just no, don't run onto the grass, and actually managed to pass Rosberg there into P5. Held it through the final corner, and yeah, pretty happy with that move, to be honest. And now we skipped forward once again. Again, there's a bunch of cars going into turn 11 and 12 with Raikkonen now ahead of me. Looks like Webber has managed to get past him. Very shiny Lotus, reflecting off his mirror there, and I've actually had to run on the outside going into this corner. And Raikkonen has backed off and, well, broken very early there, so I've gone up to P4. On to the start of lap 4, it's a bit of side-by-side action going on with the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton and Mark Webber ahead, but Mark Webber's backed out of it and has now got a poor run down towards turn 3. I think both of us have DRS there, so we might just close on Hamilton quite a bit. Let's see if I can hold it on the outside of Mark Webber. I've done a few outside passes so far, and here's another one through the outside of turn 3, and now it's only 1. I'm actually onto the podium positions now, so only Lewis Hamilton ahead to get into the top 2, although there's quite a massive gap up to Fernando Alonso in the lead, and Lewis Hamilton's just going slow. Has the tires just fallen off that Mercedes again, like we've seen so many times in real life this season? And it looks like it has, because Hamilton just not even bothered defending. He's just giving me that position, so I'm actually up to P2, and now it's Hamilton to hopefully hold up that massive train back there. You can see in the minimap there's quite a bit of a train going down behind Lewis Hamilton. Mercedes going slow, it seems, and I've already got a 2nd gap on him. As we now skip into the end of lap 6, we're in the pit stop phase now. I think obviously it says that I'm in the lead, but Alonso's already pitted on the previous lap and he's retaking the lead now. He's quite a way ahead like he was before the pit stops as well. Quite a gap up to Fernando, so I'm not sure I'll be able to catch that, especially being in a slower car as well. Pretty much halfway through the race now, but you gotta say I've got quite a decent gap down to P3 and the train behind Lewis Hamilton back there. Actually Webber's actually in P3 now, so and as you can see 3.2 seconds behind, and I'm 8.3 behind Alonso, so I could have 2nd place in the bag, but as I say that, I've just had a massive lockup, gone into the gravel at turn 3. Oh my god, that's just ruined that 2nd place. It's Mark Webber going through, and oh, these tires gonna have to take a while to clean up, I think. And I'm absolutely kicking myself for that mistake. Pretty annoying to make that sort of mistake, but still quite a gap down to the cars chasing now behind, so it's not too bad. Skipping on to lap 10, and that's not Mark Webber, that's a slow Toros of Daniel Ricciardo actually being lapped there. So you can see Mark Webber's still 2 seconds ahead as I'm actually on the purple lap, so I might be catching him, but I mean, we've skipped 3 laps and I'm pretty much at the same gap, so I think Mark Webber is going at a solid pace. It's going to be very difficult for me to catch him. And as you can see, not too much more happened in the race really. On to the final lap, at the end of the lap as well. Webber has actually pulled out a few more seconds on me, so I haven't managed to catch him, unfortunately. But I managed to hold on to my 3rd place, which means that I'm going to finish 3rd place on the podium in my debut race in the Force India, and hopefully Vijay Mallya will be serving some cake in the garage afterwards. So, I've done the thing that only the legend himself, Giancarlo Fisichella, has done before me. Finished on the podium in the Force India. Fernando Alonso, though, Fisichella's old teammate, kind of dominated the race, winning over Mark Webber by 2.8 seconds. Webber must have actually been catching him towards the end. I couldn't catch Webber though, and I finished 7.1 seconds behind the lead. I think Raikkonen and Hamilton were the two behind that as well. So we jumped to the back of the grid, and very interestingly, Sebastian Vettel and Jensen Button has not finished the race, and also my teammate Adrian Sutil has also been a DNF, so that's very interesting indeed. I'm now, obviously, this Champions League standings will be exactly the same as the results, and I've managed to drag Force India up to 4th place in the Constructors after one race. So, it was a pretty satisfying race, I think, for the first one in the Force India. The team certainly looks kind of happy. And now to take a little sip of water and get recharged for the next race. Okay, so if you somehow haven't already realized, I'm actually doing 2 races per episode in this series. And now Q2 in Malaysia, the second race at Kuala Lumpur, purple in sector 1, but then, what is this? 3 AI cars just sitting on the apex, losing me tons of time through there, and as I've run wide through the final corner on my one and only flying lap as well. This is gonna be a disaster surely. Gonna run with DRS towards the line, and P14 I'm not managed to get into the Q3. So that was a bit of a disastrous qualifying, but speaking of disastrous qualifying, Sebastian Vettel down there with a 30 position grid penalty, and I think I just saw Mark Webber as well with a 10 position grid penalty. That's pretty incredible. They're Red Bull certainly not complying with the regulations, I would imagine. I don't think I've ever seen that before, but anyway, no messing around here, we're straight into the action. We're on the P13 thanks to Webber's penalty, and the lights are out now for the second race of the season in Malaysia. We got a decent start using a little bit of curse as well, trying to get a bit of slipstream off John-Eric Verne, see if there's gonna open a gap in the middle. My teammate down there in the middle kind of blocking the road a little bit as the cars are going very slowly. I've actually been passed up the inside bar and mentioned Mr. Webber, and trying to find a way on the outside here. Going around the outside of the Tarosso, and the Grosjean there going slow as well. I might go straight up into the points positions into P10 now. Mark Webber. Oh, so lots of cars braking early. There's a few cars side by side there. Ferrari still hanging on, and I'm actually managed to take 3 cars in one corner and gone up to P7 as the Mercedes cars are just battling, and which has gained me a position as well, with Rosberg dropping back to P7. And now Hamilton has had a bit of a wobble, and I've gone up the inside into this double apex right-hander. Hamilton's trying to hang it on, but he's gone onto the apex and lost. Oh, and I've had a massive overstep moment myself, but I managed to get past Hamilton up to P5. This is once again a good start for me, and got to the 2 McLarens going very well up in P3 and 4 actually up ahead. But skipping out onto the start of lap 4 actually, so it's kind of stations held so far, with Hamilton now having a he's kind of tried to rape me up the ass there instead of going up the inside, so managed to hold on nicely to P5. But the McLarens actually pulled out a bit of a gap ahead, and Alonso ahead as well, just set the fastest lap of the race. So I think I'm not catching the guys ahead. That is pretty worrying. So the end of lap 4 then, Hamilton still just he just wants to get by me, and I don't think this Force India's got too much pace to hang on the straight from the Mercedes there. He's got the DRS and just straight past me. Here's come Massa as well, who's just at the fastest lap, but I managed to defend the inside line from Felipe Massa as Hamilton's gone very wide. Almost turned into me, but no, I lost the rear end and gone onto the grass and let Massa through. That's not what we wanted to do. And after the great start, we're now starting to drop back again with a few cars lurking behind still. And now side-by-side action going up towards the final corner with Massa. Is he going for an outside pass on Lewis Hamilton? He's pulled it off. That is brilliant from Felipe Massa. And but I've got DRS now as well. Although I actually think, what the fuck was that? That was Jensen Button sitting on the grass. Jensen Button, who was in like P3 or something, he's just dropped back as Hamilton just got back past Massa. Oh shit! I've just hit Massa. Please don't give me a penalty. Are you serious? Yeah. I just got a bit too excited in the corner there, and now I have a drive-through. That's not good right at all, is it? But I can't really complain too much about that. I kind of hit Massa up the rear. I'm very sorry, Felipe. But so my drive-through then. I was in P5 before that, and actually with all the other cars pitting anyway, I'm going to stay in P4, but I'm going to be a pit stop behind, unfortunately. So once I have made my stop, then I'm probably gonna drop quite a few places back. Oh, as I've just locked. Oh, what on earth did I just see? There's a little bollard sitting on the pit entrance, and my front wing just flown straight off. That is hilarious. But anyway, so that incident just put me completely off now. As the pit crew is now going to have to change my front wing as well, which is going to cost me even more seconds. As the cars come down the pit lane, or actually down the pit straight. Let's see how far I drop down. There's 2 cars coming there. Can I get out ahead of them? No. There's a Williams actually, and don't know who that other guy is. It looks like a Red Bull, maybe Mark Webber. So this has now pretty much turned into a recovery drive after 2 pretty annoying incidents. So we skipped a bit onto the middle of lap 8. It's Valtteri Bottas up in P8, so he's gone very strong. If he actually has pitted, I'm not completely sure, but he's gone up the inside there. He's just left the door a little bit open, and I've taken him. Had to dispose of him pretty quickly. As you can see, Mark Webber is just flying. He's already pulled out a massive gap in only half a lap. So we jumped onto the start of lap 10. There's a car in the pit lane there, so I'll move up to P7. I think, was that Mark Webber pitting actually? I think it might have been. That's surprising. I would have thought he had made his stop, but it appears not. So actually my teammate Adrian Sutil has gone up to P8 as well. Could be double points finish then in Malaysia for the Force India team. And not too much more happened like in the previous race really. From this point onwards I couldn't catch the cars ahead, and I didn't get caught by the cars behind. So as a runner out of fuel going towards the line, it's going to be a P7. Could have been more if it wasn't for the incidents, me hitting off Massa. My bad, I shouldn't have done that. But P7, some points in the bag, not quite a podium from Australia, but it's alright I guess. Just like in Australia, Fernando Alonso takes the win. 2 wins in 2 for him. Raikkonen in second, Sergio Perez, brilliant result for him in third. And my teammate Adrian Sutil dropped behind both Red Bulls towards the end and finished P10 to take 1 point for the team. I obviously finished P7. Jenson Button once again didn't finish the race. That is pretty incredible. And I'm now in third in the overall Drivers' Championship. You can see there, it's 5 drivers from P3 down to P7 separated by 1 single point, with Raikkonen in second and Alonso with quite a massive gap at the top. As for the constructors, Force India now in P4. Only 2 points behind Red Bull and Mercedes, and 1 point ahead of McLaren. So it's pretty interesting there as well. But guys, that was pretty much it for the first episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to like it, I guess, and subscribe and everything. I will see you guys soon for the next 2 races in China and Bahrain. Fisi fan signing off. Goodbye.